Hello there again. I just had breakfast. It's getting close to 11, so I was thinking I was just gonna go ahead and head back to the dorm. I did realize that I have an SBC meeting, so I kind of forgot about. But it's a good thing I put on the shirt for the club, because I saw that thing when I decided to actually start getting my clothes and whatnot this morning. Yeah, and I took a shower. Anyway, so of that, I need to go back to the dorm to get my water bottle and the dad jokes I promised I would do. Maybe something else. I don't know. Probably don't need to bring very much at all, in all honesty. So, yeah, and I kept the breakfast pretty light because they have lunch at the SBC meetings. So didn't want to be too full, since that's like literally in about an hour-ish, a little more, something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I do realize not just from the last video, but many times before, I know I do have anxiety, and I know I do get worried about things, and I recognize that it's a little impulsive, actually quite fear-based. With I'll go across the street here. Alright, we're good. Didn't realize my reaction was a little overdone. Again, yes, getting self-conscious about filming myself in public. Not used to doing this. I don't know. Maybe it'll probably get easier. With some experience here. So I don't know if I make this like a normal thing. I mean, I guess I could, if I really wanted to. I don't know. I could make daily videos, or like, because if I make it more often, I'm probably gonna do it more. I'm probably gonna be better about remembering and and whatnot. And I think it'll also be interesting that, like, even though these videos are going to be comparatively shorter, right? Pretty much mostly just the walking distance between dining and the dorm, but I don't know, maybe I will. So let's back to the political thing. I don't really know what to do or think, honestly. I am curious about, like, I'm sorry about the glare. I really am curious about, like, what exactly, like, Wyatt's sort of political beliefs are. Like, what he means, like, what type of, well, I'm assuming conservative or Republican because this vote for, but maybe he'd vote for it if he could. Maybe he'd vote for an independent party or something else. I don't know. Or maybe he just voted for Trump because maybe based on the evidence he's presented with, that it doesn't seem like Kamala's very good and he doesn't know very much. Or perhaps, I don't know. But regardless, at the same time though, I'm a little hesitant to ask because I don't want to, like, we've been getting along pretty well as roommates, and yeah, it was kind of a shock to me that I was sharing a room with potentially a Republican or a conservative. That was kind of like, whoa, okay, you okay, man, kind of thing. That's kind of what I was feeling, like he was going to beat me up or something. But I recognize that's not. One, he probably wouldn't do that. Two, we had along great. 3, there's lots of other things they can do. And 4, why the fuck would I think that the average, like, well, maybe not the average, but a lot of Republicans or conservatives would resort to like physical attacks. That I need to address that concern. Doesn't sound particularly great. I'm not proud of that I would think that, but putting that aside, I guess I'm also kind of just worried about like how, I don't know, it feels a little bit like, and I think maybe, I don't know if this is really purely just because of what, I'm taking a longer way this time. I'm just walking by Mac. I'll walk down further on, and then I'll cross the road and walk back up, and then go on over to Blue Ridge. This thing can, screw it. We'll make this video a little longer. I'm kind of just enjoying walking. It's really nice this morning. It's sunny, but it's nice temperature. It's a little cool, although I don't feel it as much because I'm wearing this. So I don't know, maybe it's a little warmer than I thought, but regardless. So I am a little worried though about like how he might react if I were to bring up certain points or evidence about something, why certain policies might work over other ones, or why Trump is not a good person or a candidate or anything like that. But I guess regardless, I'm not really, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, and I don't know this just because I'm personally like been negatively, I'm negatively biased against, I'm biased against a lot of conservative Republican thought or people, but I don't really know what this is, but where I'm kind of a little bit like, I feel hesitant to trust him or to confide or to say certain things. Like, there's certain stuff like I don't say, but I just mean it as like a normal thing. Like, for example, I don't really scroll, I'll go a little longer. I don't really like trying to think of like a comparable example here. So I'm not trying to give you notifications, bro. Okay, so I know that when I asked my high school friend Rain, or like when I was kind of asking him about like some of his political opinions, like he showed like himself as a Republican, I believe, and I don't know. I mean, we like I said with Wyatt, like we get along great, but I feel a little scared. I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel like, I don't know. Maybe not completely safe. Is that what I'm trying to think of? I don't know, but it's not a good feeling. It's a little unsettling. Of like, well, I feel like I have to hold my tongue. I recognize it's coming from with myself. I recognize I'm feeling like I have to hold my tongue because, I don't want to say certain things that would cause a conflict. And the conflict may be a little extreme word. Maybe what I'm referring to by conflict is not like actual physical fighting, but rather just like big arguments or something. Across the road here. And then feeling like this feeling really shit after. Not like normal type, but just like, I don't know. It just like, it's sort of like, it's just sort of like a fear thing where it's like, I feel like sad too. Like, I feel like, like I need to get away. Like, I need to remove myself from the situation. I need to And I don't know if this is just because they might have some of these people, including Rain or Wyatt or whoever, might have different opinions of myself if I'm too scared to confront or, be confronted by different opinions, I wonder that, but at the same time I wonder, well, maybe that might be the case. Maybe sometimes I am a little scared to kind of see opinions or evidence to something that I don't believe. But maybe it's just that, I have my own sort of sense of beliefs and morals, and it feels a little bit like, maybe not Wyatt or Rain, but that if I were to go to certain areas or events, I probably wouldn't, because I don't drive, I'm currently in college, but if I were theoretically to go to something like a I can't remember what it's called, like the Republican nominee conference, whatever it is they have every presidential election, as to see what people's arguments would be like, or how people would interact, or treat me, or someone like Norfie. I do wonder how he's doing, though. When I asked him before through text, he just said okay. So, although I guess he does that normally, so I'm not terribly worried, but I do hope he's doing all right, especially since I'm still stuck at the shit high school. I went there too. I didn't love it either. I was fine, because when I started out there, I was much more to myself, much more quiet. I mean, not to say I still can't be oftentimes I am, but I don't know. Anyways, regardless of that, the side note thing there, I do feel a little bit I don't know. It's hard to explain, and I don't think that I don't know this for certain, but I do feel this is, I know this is irrational. I'm not saying this is a thing of blaming myself for being not logical or whatever. That's not really what I'm upset about. I really shouldn't worry about that right now. But what concerned me is this sort of, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm a little caught up in my anxieties of the moment, so just thinking about this gives me some more. So I don't know, maybe sometimes I wonder how much of this stuff is just in the moment. Do I truly think that? Well, at least there's some shred of evidence, I suppose, that there are parts of it that I do. But anyhow, another example besides Rain or Wyatt is my extended family. So I've known for a long time that while I didn't absolutely love them or anything, I have appreciated some of the experiences I've had or conversations, about silly stuff or fun things, or just learning about what people are into or their personal history. And I honestly think I'm probably still going to, because ultimately, while we have different opinions, and it does scare me, perhaps how strongly they hold such opinions you're in question. It's specifically with politics, not so much with other things like video games. I recognize that those doesn't really matter as much comparatively, and it's kind of just more stuff that would have pissed me off when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie, still kind of does, but ultimately it's not as important, so I can kind of just let it go. But so yeah, I'm still gonna try to interact. So they're going to try to learn, try to, you know, make these personal connections, because I want to give people, regardless of their belief system, whether it be political or religious or something else entirely, that to give them a chance to speak for themselves, to kind of hear what some of their story is, what they believe, and not kind of shame them for it. You know, I can dislike them and I can rant or whatever all I want to in my head or with people that I trust, and that's all good. But just because I don't want to be what I mentally criticize a lot of these people for being. Not necessarily, not like immediately like Rain or Wyatt, or my extended family necessarily. I don't know. I do kind of wonder if I'm just doing against this sort of general idea rather than actual specific people. And so that's also a little concerning. I'm perhaps doing some kind of stereotyping thing here. Perhaps very much am. You know, I don't want to think that I am, but in all truth, all reality, I might very well. You know, I maybe very well am. And, you know, I shouldn't really do that. But, so anyway, yeah, kind of like I was saying though, I think you get the point. I'm kind of just repeating the same stuff. Have a bad habit of doing that sometimes. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I need to kind of like close my mouth. I need to be very careful. I need to really, really slow down and try to see, okay, what words can I use? What topics can I talk about? What sort of interests can we share? Or like, how much interaction do I have to have? Or how long is this for? So I don't know. It's tricky because I know one thing of myself is that, you know, I believe that, you know, we should have some kind of exposure to some different kind of perspectives, right? Because that's how we grow, that's how we expand our knowledge. And I think I'm still going to try to do that with, you know, with my roommate, with my high school friends, or most of them who are Republican or conservative or something like that. Some of them aren't, like Maddie, but then again, I rarely talk to Maddie anyway. I don't really know what to, but that's a different problem anyway. And we have besides this, trying to think here. I don't know, but I don't know, I keep on losing my train of thought. I'm back at the dorm here. I'm not really sure if I want to go ahead and go inside or not. You know, I'm thinking I will, because I start uploading these videos to YouTube. It's just my own private channel thing, so no one else is really going to be able to see them. It's just myself, at least for the moment now. I don't know, maybe I might post it officially on later, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I shouldn't be. And it is a little easier to upload if the videos are shorter. This one's definitely longer than the last couple ones, which were about like 9-10 minutes. It's almost 20. But anyway, maybe I'll see you again later. I don't know, maybe I'll do a third video. Maybe I'll do one going back over to alumni again, because that's where the SBC meetings will be at. So, see ya.